Welcome back everybody to Jennifer's Garden. We have a few things left in the garden that we got to get out. One of which is these peanuts here and the sweet potatoes. All right, let's see if this was a success or a failure. You ready? You want to help me? Well, we got a couple. I should see. Yeah. The problem was I planted them a little too close to the zucchini, so they didn't get a ton of sunlight, but here's well, we got a few peanuts on the bottom there. So you pluck them off. I definitely would like to try this again next year and put them in a better spot, but we got a few. Let's check this one out. What do you think? Ooh, we got a few more. A few more on here. Could have been better. We'll try again next year, but oop, no, those aren't for you. Those aren't too bad looking. And the last plant, here they are. No, they're not for you. Onto the sweet potatoes. I want to get to the main root where the slips were started because those are going to be the biggest sweet potatoes, and then I'll work my way out from there. Well, we got a few. I'm having a hard time finding where the main plant was, but we got a few good ones for my area. These aren't bad. So we ended up with some. They look pretty good though. I'll let them cure because they taste better if you let them sit for a couple weeks to a month, and then you can eat them. Now we're going to clean this mess up here in the raised bed. This is where the garlic is going to go. We're going to put that in today. I'm going to clean this all out, amend the soil, put some compost in, and some fertilizer, and we'll plant garlic. Well, I must be doing something right. Look at all the worms in here. Yeah, lots of worms means good soil. So everything is weeded. I got this one section. This is where the garlic's going to be. Now I'm going to put the compost and the fertilizer down. All right, all top dressed with compost and fertilizer. So let's get the garlic in. Okay, so now we're getting ready to plant here. I'm going to plant the elephant garlic first. I got about a pound of it. I didn't really realize how many cloves I was going to get, but this is the elephant. Isn't it huge? It's crazy. So when you plant the garlic, you want to plant it with the pointy end up because this is where the roots come out. So we're going to plant the elephant garlic quite a bit deeper than the rest of them. And we also have chestnut red, music, and Dagansky. I bought some culinary garlic, which I just thought was a different brand, but it's actually culinary garlic, eating garlic. So you learn as you go. So if I have enough room in this bed, I may still just pick some of the bigger cloves and plant some of it and see what we get. So the elephant garlic is planted. The bigger cloves I put about 5 inches apart. They need to be a little bit farther apart because they get really big. The other ones I'll just put 3 or 4 inches apart, just pack them in. Do a little bit more high intensity planting. I'm going to cover this all up and then move on. Okay, all the garlic is in. On the end here, I just did a mixture of whatever the larger culinary garlic was. And I will leave it like this for as long as I can. Once it starts getting a little chillier, I'm going to put some leaf mulch on top of it because you want to mulch it up for the winter. And hopefully we actually get something this year. So now we're going to put away and store the onions. Definitely the yellow onions dried out much better than the rest of them. A couple of the red ones did real well. The whites really didn't dry out that well, but that's okay. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the outside paper off, just kind of the dirty stuff. And I'm just going to put them in a basket so that way they can stay in my basement a little longer. Just kind of brush them off a little bit. Not too much. So I'll show you that here. Nice little onion. Okay, so here are all my yellow onions in the basket. I did kind of just peel off the outside layer a little bit just because some of the dirt that gets underneath, like some of this paper, some of it starts to mold. So I just was really careful to make sure I only took off a little bit of the outside. You still need the paper on here. That's what helps the onion store. I focus this a little bit. I cut all the roots off the bottom, and I cut a little bit more off the tops, so that way this can store really nicely. I did end up with some, so see, like one like this, when I peeled off the outside paper, you can see the white. This is part of the actual onion, so it won't store very long with this exposed. So I just put that aside, and we'll eat that sooner than later. So just like this one too. So like the outside paper, it's nice and crunchy and crisp, and then I peeled it off and there was this side. So we'll just eat these sooner. That one just didn't look so great on the side. So we'll just eat these a little bit quicker than the rest. So we'll finish the rest of them up. All right, we have all the onions done. I'm gonna put them downstairs in my basement. We have a dehumidifier that is directly pumped into our dry well, so it runs all the time when it needs to, so it stays really, really dry in my basement, and it's gonna start to become nice and tempered at this point. You know, that 50-55 degrees is really good for the basement, and they'll be in this bin. So the white onions didn't do so hot. I have yet to be able to do anything much with the white ones. Only the yellows and the reds really stay well, so I don't know if I'm going to grow those next year, but we'll see. I also took the green beans that were dried up off of some of the plants. Now, it's been super, super rainy here, so, I mean, they're damp, but this is, if you can hear that, you know, at least the seed is mature and it's ready. Let me get this a little... and I know the difference between the Bush Blue Lake 274 and the tender green seeds themselves. The tender greens are black and the Bush Blue Lakes are white. So I just grabbed them all, as many as I could. I'm going to put them in one of these little bags and just hang them and let them finish drying, and then I will shuck them. So I really haven't had a chance to show a bunch of footage of the girls out in the garden. They've been doing a really good job out here digging around. But why are you pulling on my pants? Ow! But they're loving it out here. We'll walk through the little, I call it the chicken runway. And we'll check for eggs, because we're starting to get eggs now. Huh. What do you think? Oh, and last night Kara helped me clip some wings. I didn't do any videos because I was really nervous about doing it to begin with. It was my first time, so we just did it, and they're okay. One of the leghorns has been kind of poking at them, like, something's missing, like, sorry. But they've been flying over this fence and getting out, and we've been finding them all over the place, so we just had to do it. And so far, nobody's flown out, huh? Greta, or whatever Daddy calls you. So I know somebody was in here this morning. We got 2 in one box. Oh, and there's Patricia's egg. Sweet! So we got 3 eggs for today. Excellent. And I'll just show you one more thing before we finish here. We're starting to get things set up for the partial enclosure here. This will have a roof from the side of the coop, and this will be all covered in hardwire cloth, so they have a place inside to be outside. So coming along slowly but surely. We'll get there. So, hi Betty. Ooh, hello Patricia. Right? Say, from my coop to yours. Thank you for growing with me so I can grow with you.